guys, it's your boy, Barca boy, 103. Just finished watching the match and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Barcelona won. For the first time in 2 years, we have won our opening league game. Very surprisingly, in my opinion, based on how we started the game and also based on the feelings towards before the game. But bloody hell, will we absolutely take 3 points to kick off this league campaign. Now, in terms of the starting lineup, it is for you on the screen right now. It is Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Kounde, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Balde. Midfield three of Casado, Bernal, and Raphinha, with Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres on the wings, and Lewandowski up front. Now, initially, lineup prediction, lineup selection, you're thinking, why is Cubarsí starting for the first time now after his little Olympic hiatus? Why is Lamine Yamal starting for the first time as well after his Olympic hiatus? No Christensen either as well. Ferran Torres out wide, which is very risky after his also Spain hiatus during the Euros, but I mean, it's risks that Hansi Flick is taking. He still looks like he's experimenting with the team a little bit, but we get the 3 points. Look, there has been a lot of talking points around this game. Let's firstly talk about the team performance. That first half was shite. Oh my god. I'm watching that first half thinking, we're going to go trophyless this season. If we're going to play like this, we're not going anywhere whatsoever. The intensity and pressure was non-existent past the opening 7 minutes. Valencia felt super fresh. Again, probably the Mestalla has given them that extra boost, that extra energy, but we looked out of it, and there was some, I don't want to get into individuals quite yet, we'll talk about that later on, but team-wise, I felt like the team, I tweeted this during the game as well, make sure you follow me, Barca boy, but it felt like it was the players' first time playing together. It felt like they had no chemistry whatsoever, which again is the case. You have, Bernal who's new, Casado who's new, it makes sense, but it felt like they just did not know each other whatsoever. We can see from again, individual mistake mainly, I would say. The cross that was put in was fairly decent. I don't think Kounde couldn't really do enough to block it. Inigo tried to play him offside, and he also was telling Balde to mark the player that came in, the Hugo Doro, because he was marking the player in front of him, even though Cubarsí was already marking him. So, calamity of errors there. I don't think Ter Stegen could have done much with the goal as well. We pull it back just before halftime as well, literally just before halftime. I think we scored and the referee blew for halftime with a great ball in by Alejandro Balde to the far post to find Lamine Yamal, who one time squares it into the middle to Lewandowski, who pokes it home. That right there, that goal and that sequence is the reason why we won this game. If we go into halftime losing, I think it's a different perspective. I think it's a different game. I probably think that Barcelona don't come out with 3 points, maybe a draw at best. Getting that goal, and especially as well, killing the Valencia momentum they had, was beyond crucial. Second half, it was decent. I'm not going to lie. We looked much better. I don't know what happened, but that first 4 or 5 minutes, we have about 3 or 4 chances on goal. Lamine Yamal should have scored. We get a penalty from Raphinha. Lewandowski buries it. Beautiful penalty. No stutter step as well. Top right corner. No keeper saving that. Even if you told them you were going there, they weren't saving that. It was a brilliant penalty. After that, we controlled the game pretty well. I believe Raphinha had an opportunity where he missed the glancing header, and apart from that, Valencia didn't really do much. It felt like more so Valencia dropping off and then Barcelona increasing as well. But the game changer for me was Pedri coming into this game. As soon as Pedri came into this game, we just controlled the midfield. What we saw in the first half a lot was Casado misplacing passes. Raphinha, one time he'll drop in the middle, then drop to the right, and then we'll see Ferran Torres come inside and then get in the way of Lewandowski. The fluidity wasn't there, but once Pedri came in, we just had pure control, and that's what we were mainly missing today. Of course, it's not ideal to play Raphinha in the 10, Lamine Yamal in the 10, but when you have to, you have to. But when you see a pure midfielder come in there, the control was superb. After that, I don't think we didn't have too many chances. Casado had a good chance. Lewandowski had a good chance. Apart from that, though, we kind of really just played out for the 3 points, which thank God we got. Now, player ratings is going to be hectic. Ter Stegen, oh my god, in that first half. If he gives that ball he gave away, if we concede from that, game over, 0 points, and Ter Stegen is getting pelters online. Made a great save, reflex save, just before that mistake. Apart from that, I think he was pretty mid. His distribution was either really good or really bad. It's a bit 50-50. Second half, honestly, had nothing really to do too much. A couple, P-roller shots towards him. That was pretty much it. So probably would give him a generous 6. You could even give him a 5. It wouldn't really bother you about that. Jules Kounde, Mr. effing consistency again. brilliant from him. I think a 7 out of 10 from Kounde today. He was just so solid. Yes, he could have maybe stopped the cross that came in for the goal. Apart from that, he had that right hand side on lockdown. I was not worried whatsoever about that right hand side. I was more worried about the left when we had Alejandro Balde there, who of course picked up a knock. Then you had Jorge Martin, who's a bit inexperienced, but came on and did pretty well. In my opinion, never worried about Kounde. This center back partnership. Oh my god. Listen, let's start with Kubarsi first. Kubarsi was beyond shit. This is the worst performance I've seen from Kubarsi since his debut against, who was it, Linares in the Copa del Rey in January. His worst performance. Could not control the ball. Could not read the aerial threats as well. Second balls, he was losing every single one. Apart from the goal line clearance, which again was crucial as well, because Valencia were already 1-0 up. They scored that 2-0 game over again from that Ter Stegen mistake. Apart from that, he was woeful. Absolutely dreadful from Kubarsi, and he was rightfully taken off at the hour mark. I was shocked he came on for the second half. His partner wasn't that much better. Inigo Martinez, again, since he's signing for Barcelona last summer, the worst performance I've seen from him, and he dropped an all-time stinker. That is Clement Lenglet, Samuel Umtiti Prime-esque performance from Inigo. Did absolutely nothing right. Distribution was poor. Marking was poor. Aerial touch, to be honest, he did okay. With the physical, the aerial side of it, he kind of held his own. Oh my god, he's passing the ball out. Couldn't, it was just all over the place from Inigo. And both of them today, for me, get a 3 or a 10, a 4 out of 10. Like, it's probably a 3.5. They were both absolutely dreadful. Of course, Kubarsi's yellow card kind of saved him. That's why he got taken off. But my god, you can just say it's a one-off game. People are talking about in the live chat, in the live stream, oh, we should keep McAlpha, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Inigo's been consistently alright since his time. This is his first, stinker. So we'll see if he kind of bounces back from this. But my god, he was so... I was worried every time the ball got near him or when he was on the ball. That's how poor he was. Balde was okay. Probably give him an average 6, maybe even a 5 as well. Again, his marking wasn't the best a lot, especially from corner kicks. Hugo Doro got the better of him on 2 separate different occasions. Got a knock as well. We don't know how serious the injury is. We'll wait and see if it's cramp or an actual injury. We'll probably give him a 5 or a 6. He was not the greatest, but his runs in the final third were brilliant, and that's what we missed a lot from. His crossing was okay as well. Of course, he had the cross for the initial goal. Apart from that, though, it wasn't the best. I think Jorge Martin really had some good crosses, which we'll talk about later on. Midfield, Marc Bernal was superb. My man of the match. If you take away Lewandowski's 2 goals, I think it's kind of boring to give it to Lewandowski, although he did have a really good game. Bernal for me was superb. He was absolutely majestic. And you know what? If we go into this game without Bernal or any natural pivot, we might have been cooked. He was absolutely sublime. Controlling the midfield, moving the tempo well. Distribution was fantastic as well. Recovery tackles were brilliant as well. Stopped a few Valencia counterattacks. I thought he was absolutely superb. I'll probably give him an 8 out of 10. Casado will give a 7 out of 10. I think Casado played really well, a lot more so on the defensive transition part of the game. Ball recovery, tackles were really good. Progression of the ball, passing was great. But he was kind of course, playing that box-to-box role where he's getting into the final third. The final third wasn't that great. Gave a lot of misplaced passes. Missed 2 great chances. One of them, of course, to make it 1-1, which thank God in the end. We did a few minutes afterwards. Second half as well, they killed the game around the 90th minute. And that was an absolute sitter. He should be scoring that, especially for, playing at a high level like this for Barcelona. So that was a poor miss from him. I think he still had a very, very good game. Yet another 90 minutes for him. I think, again, just working on fine-tuning his ability in the final third. He'll be a top player, no doubt. On the right, Lamine Yamal, I'll give him a 7. He kind of started off the game very well. A lot of great runs down that right-hand side. But once he got locked down a little bit by Vasquez, was a bit quiet. He made a lot of great inside runs today. And that's because, again, the fullback was dealing with him quite well. I think in the second half, he looked a threat just because of his name. Really, he showed some good speed, cut inside a bit, but really didn't have anything, directness towards goals. I will still give him a 7 out of 10. In the 10 was Raphinha. I'm going to rotate for Raphinha an 8 out of 10. I thought Raphinha was brilliant in terms of creating chances, making great runs, recovery runs as well, doing a lot of the dirty work for the team, made a lot of dummy runs as well for the likes of, Lewandowski and Ferran Torres as well. But it just came down to him not being very, very decisive in the final third, which again, that'll hopefully come with time, but made some great runs, made some good movements as well. And I think, this game played a bit longer, definitely could have got on the score sheet. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I thought Raphinha played really, really, really well. Left wing, Ferran freaking Torres. Oh my god. I talked about Inigo stinker. I think Ferran Torres' stinker was worse. I'm just thinking about Dani Olmo playing in that position. We're going to look so much better. And How is this man still playing for Barcelona? Get him out the door. You know, screw amortization at this point. He's on 150,000 euros per week, cannot make a direct run, missed a 1v1 sitter, getting in the way of the runs of Lewandowski, cannot hold his position, cannot make good progressive passing as well. He cannot do anything in this game. Absolutely nothing. Was piss poor yet again. The shark mentality we have not seen since February. Yes, he had a good start to the season. Oh, he hit the gym in the summer, last summer, oh, whoop-de-doo. Since that second injury in February, he's been woeful. Get him on the market and get him shipped out because he's absolutely pointless to have. Yes, he can play in different positions, but he plays them all poorly. There's no good use for him whatsoever. That was, again, the worst performance. He remember the season of Xavi when we won the double. Ferran Torres was very, very poor that season. That season, he never dropped a poor performance like he did tonight. This is the worst performance I've seen from him. And then look at the twat on the screen now. Dreadful from him. Give him like a 3, maybe even God forbid a 2 out of 10. And finally was the main man up front, RL9, Robert Lewandowski. I will also give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he played a really, really good game. I think him and Raphinha were one of the bright lights in the final third. I even tweeted before Valencia scored. I think Lewandowski's hold-up play was brilliant. Distribution of the ball. Made a lot of good runs, you know, taking out, you know, Valencia defenders to make more space out wide for Raphinha and Lamine down the right-hand side. Got his 2 goals as well, which again, penalty was superb. The poacher goals, which you expect from Lewandowski, top striker by him. But I really want to highlight his work on and off the ball in this game. I thought he played really well. In terms of substitutions, I think Christensen came in, put in a shift. Pedri, of course, like I mentioned already, changed the game, played really well. Jonathan Martin, I think he put in a good shift, had a lot of good crosses as well, which again, I think the cross for the Casado chance came from him. Eric Garcia did alright in the pivot, to be fair to him. Had a few misplaced passes where Valencia weren't, you know, so tired. They could have had a very threatening counterattack. I think he got away with it there quite a little bit. And Pau Victor came in, again, he was just fresh legs at that point, coming on the 85th minute, but looked alright. He did more in the 6 minutes that he came on than Ferran Torres did in the hour that he played, and that pretty much sums up what you expect. Hansi Flick, I'll give him a 7. Of course, win, 3 points, you can't go wrong with that. I think he's still experimenting with his team quite a bit, seeing where players can fit in, what else can he do. He's still playing the 4-3 well. Will he adopt more to a 4-3 as we know we progress in the season? I'm not quite too sure. I think his subs today were really strong. I just questioned the timing. I was baffled there was no halftime sub after Inigo and Kubarsi both were shite. And of course, Kubarsi came into halftime with a yellow card as well. I could not believe they both came out for that second half. But of course, he made the right subs later on. Again, in terms of personnel, I thought they were really good. Bringing on Pedri for Ferran Torres. Of course, Christensen in for Kubarsi since he was booked. So I want to highlight him, give him credit for that. And of course, the comeback as well. We played really well in the second half. I'm not saying we played champagne, beautiful football, but we played, you know, better to our opponent, and that's of course what got us the 3 points in the end. So overall, we take it. Again, we haven't won a first game of La Liga in quite some time now, so it's going to be a different feeling, and we'll wait and see how things turn out the next week in terms of sales, players coming in. Bilbao at home is going to be very difficult. I think this game was hard. Wait till you get that game. Again, we are going to be at home, but Montjuic is just dead anyway, so we'll see how that game turns out. But again, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, thoughts on Flick's decisions, starting lineup, substitution, what you think his performance rating was as well. Make sure you drop a like down below if you have enjoyed, and subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Yeah.